not. God may show mercy. You may get away with it once or twice or whatever, but there are times when the Lord, when He means business, He means business. And the fear of the Lord is a very real thing. And so here they had an army come against them, the Philistines. You can read this in 1 Samuel. The Philistines came against them. And so they said, hey, we're going to get the ark out. We're going to be triumphant. And they brought the ark out. All the people started shouting, and this is wrapped up. We got this one. And the Philistines were scared because they had heard about these people, about how God had done, what God had did to the Egyptians. They knew. And this God is serious business. And so they went out, and the Philistines, the captain told their men, quit you like men, act like a man, be strong. And they went out and they just severely beat the Israelites. And the ark was taken. Now, during this, Phineas and Hophni died in battle, like God said He was going to do. You don't take the holy things of God and desecrate them. You know, even the New Testament says that. We're the temple of God. We don't defile the temple of God. If your body is the temple of God and you're defiling it, that's a serious thing. That's a very serious thing. And so, I believe it was Hophni's, I can't remember, Phineas, he had a wife, and she was in labor during all of this. And she had a son. Okay? And so after the ark was taken, here comes a man, and he comes to Eli, and he says, and Eli asks him about how everything's going. He says, your sons are dead. It was almost like he didn't even care about that. And he said, the ark was taken. And when he heard that the ark was taken, he fell over and he died. And when she had the baby, you know what she named the baby? The glories departed. Ichabod. When they saw the glory of God depart, that was a serious thing. So here we are. We can learn from these things. Here we are in church today. We want to see the glory of God. We don't want it to depart. You know, I don't want to do anything that's going to grieve the Holy Spirit. And so the glory of God, the fear of the Lord, and holiness. And so what I want to do in just a few minutes that we have, I want to look at a few things. Let's go to the book of Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament. Chapter 1. I want to start with the fear of the Lord. We'll look at some of the fear of the Lord. Chapter 1, the book of Malachi. It's right behind Matthew. This is a sad, serious time for the people of Israel. They were in a hard spot. You know, the other morning I was reading through Judges some. I just kind of opened it up and I just started reading through some of that. You know, the book of Judges is like a roller coaster. You know, the children of Israel were doing great. They turned to God, and God blessed them. And then they went into the started idolatry. You know what an idol is? An idol is just something that gets glory that's undeserved. You know? An idol. God's command, second commandment, you shall not make any graven image. His first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Remember I shared on Wednesday about when Moses had gone up and he was up for a while, they created an idol to worship. They wanted something to give glory to. They turned the glory of God into that of a statue of wood that cannot deliver. All the gods of this world are but idols, the psalm says. Speaking of the false God. I mean, and what did they do in Romans? They're just doing what mankind's done. In Romans, he says in chapter 1 that they exchanged the glory of God, right? Instead of worshiping the Creator, they worship the creature. You see, that's what That's what idolatry does. You know, covetousness is idolatry. If you're all concerned about making money, I gotta make money, want to spend all my time making money, all you think about is money, that's an idol in your life. And we can turn almost anything into that. So here in chapter 1, but like I said, in Judges, they went up and down. And the thing that you wrestle with is, why don't they learn? He calls them a stiff-necked and rebellious people. Stephen, in Acts chapter 7, when he was right near the end, he was giving them a little history of the Old Testament. He just got fed up with the people and finally said, you do resist the Holy Spirit as your fathers did before you. You're stiff-necked. And so, why don't they learn? And then anytime you ask a question like that, what do? You walk over to the mirror. Why don't you learn? Right? You got to ask that one in the mirror. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall. Why don't I learn? You know, you hear people say, if I'd have seen that Red Sea depart, I never would have departed from God. Yeah, right. What's more of a miracle, seeing somebody born again or the Red Sea parting? You know? I mean, when God helps me find my wallet when I've lost it, that's a miracle to me. I don't do that very often. I think I've only done it one time in my life. So, anyhow, and here in Malachi, he says, let's just start at verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says the Lord. Hey, that was neat. That's kind of like this morning, wasn't it? God says that. I love you. You know, it's one thing to know that, and it's another when God reveals it to us. You know, I mean, experiencing salvation is wonderful. You know, and you can look at the Word and know that I'm saved. But when God says to your soul, I am thy salvation, boy, that's what we need, right?